Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. Megalith is an archetype of ritual monsters that I have thoroughly enjoyed playing in many events, all the way back from NR to more recently in the most recent Synchro event. Yes, they aren't exactly a Synchro deck, but I still thoroughly enjoyed them. And what made them so enjoyable is the fact that basically every single one of their lines is non-linear, or my sentence just contradicted itself. It's fine. Basically, everything that this deck does can go through through various different ways, and it's kind of just one of those things where once you learn the simple basics of it, it becomes a lot more interesting. It also can play Block Dragon, which isn't banned, which is a cool card. And probably one of my favorite cards of all time, Gale Dogra. If you don't know what this card does, let me just quickly explain it and why we're playing it. You pay 3,000 life points, send a card from your extra deck to the grave. That's it. That's the whole effect. However, what makes this so impactful is Herald of Arclight. Herald of Arclight is a card where if it is sent to the graveyard in any capacity, you can add a ritual monster or ritual spell from your deck to your hand. Now, notably, searching a ritual monster is very good in this deck. All of your ritual monsters are your ritual spells, meaning that you have the ability to use your ritual monsters as your ritual spells. So basically getting a ritual monster and a ritual spell off of a single Gale Dogra. Because if you notice, neither of these have once per turns. Yes, that's right. So you get to go for the Gale Dogra, pay 6,000 life points, send to Herald of Arclight. Herald of Arclight is then able to search 2 different cards, and now you're able to get not only the material necessary to go for the ritual summon, but also the ritual summon spell. So there you go, pretty cool. Also, Megaliths are just very cool, and the way that they loop is very interesting, thanks to this little guy, Full. So let's quickly do the card by card and the explanation. We already talked about Gale Dogra. We're running 3 of this guy. He's basically our only normal summon. We don't really have a whole lot of other normal summons, so there's that. However, we do have one other, and that is Manju. And the reason that we have Manju is because with Ben 10, we can search the Manju, and then Manju can basically do the same thing. This could also be Senju. Doesn't really matter. They're the same thing. So yeah, Manju, Ben 10, you're off to the races. We also have a few other search targets with that Ben 10. You can also search itself, which is wild. I don't know why this card is not limited to 1, but alas, here we are. But we do have Chaos Valkyria, which can special summon itself by banishing said Ben 10. And it's a level 4, which gives us access to Gale and Granite. And then, of course, we have ourselves Artifact Lancia. Lancia is just a very good search card. You're able to search it and then prevent your opponent from banishing cards. It's very nice, and since Ben 10 is so repeatable, it does mean that it is pretty good to have, all things considered. As for the rest of the cards, we're playing a few hand traps. We're playing Triple Maxi, the Cyframe Gear Gamma package, as well as the Triple Ash. We're also playing a few other bricks, most notably the Adamancipator Researcher and Gigantes for the Block Dragon. We're playing the 1 Block Dragon as well. As for the Megaliths, we are running Triple Full, Double Ophiel, the Triple Haggath, Triple Phaleg, Triple Bethor, and Triple Aerodron. The high-level monsters all have the ability to ritual summon as, using themselves as a spell. You discard them, and then they basically ritual summon. Just like a regular ritual spell. They also have different effects on field. Phaleg boosts your monsters by 300 for each ritual monster in grave. Bethor on summon pops cards up to the number of pops cards your opponent controls up to the number of rituals with different names in your grave, and Aerotron prevents targeting by just being able to place a ritual monster on the bottom of the graveyard and negate the activation if one of your monsters would be targeted. No, just any card. So there you go. But it also has the ability to quick effect ritual summon on your opponent's turn. Now this is very nice because if we talk about Full has the ability to on summon, add a Megalith card, or add a ritual monster from your graveyard to your hand and modulate the level to said level. So if, for example, you use Bethor to summon out the Full, you can then grab back the Bethor off of the Full's effect on summon, recycling that material. On top of that, if during the main phase, you can activate the effect to ritual summon from your hand or deck using monsters on field or in hand for the ritual monster who equal or exceed. So you can also use itself to ritual summon something out like a Bethor. So for example, you can use a Phaleg, special summon out the Full. On the opponent's turn, you can then use the Full in order to summon out the Bethor to get additional pops. That's very nice. And since that is a quick effect, you can also go for the Aerotron there, special summon the Full. Full can then activate its effect in order to grab up the Bethor, and then Bethor can pop up some cards. This also plays very well around Max C, because hey, this is all activatable in hand. Ophiel is a search of a monster, pretty good, and Haggith is also a search of a spell trap when they are summoned. There are also ritual spells on the field. They use themselves for that ritual summon. Very nice. Also, they're not once per turns. Everything else is basically a once per turn. Not these guys. These guys can cycle as many times. So normally what you're trying to do is cycle through these guys a couple of times and get their searches multiple times. However, their ritual summon is, their ritual summon effect is a hard once per. So do keep that in mind. As for the rest of the cards, we're running one Portal. Portal is very good. It's also additional recursion, and it protects your monsters from battle, but honestly, that comes up very rarely. We have triple Unformed. Unformed is absolutely insane. It's a quick play ritual effect, which is very good for Megaliths. You just have to use twice the amount of levels than normal. So for example, if you need a level 4, you'd have to use 8 levels in order to summon them. If you need a level 2, you gotta use 4 levels, and if you need an 8, you gotta use 16 levels. It's pretty simple, but yeah, that's basically how Unformed works. And then we have Emergence, which just brings a Megalith monster back from the grave, and then puts it to the bottom of the deck when it leaves the field instead. Pretty good. All things considered, Emergence is honestly very cuttable in this build, just because we don't really use it all that often because of the extra deck. So let's quickly go into the extra deck. Starting off with Garura. This card is just a send a target off of Gale in case we need to. That's basically it. If we need to draw a card instead of like get a search off of Herald, or if like Herald of Arclight is called by it or something like that, you can go for that instead. We also have the double Herald of Arclight. We have ourselves the Excel Synchron because we are playing the Gamma, so being able to go like activate a Megalith card, they activate Maxi, you activate Gamma, and now you also get the Excel Synchron into Baron immediately, which is very nice. We're obviously playing the Baron. We're also playing Changing because we need an extra 10 for the Block Dragon. We're playing a few Xyz, most notably the Abyss Dweller, Baguska, and Gallant Granite to search out that Block Dragon. We're also playing Hope Harbinger because we have lots of 8s, so why not? Even Full can modulate its level to become an 8, so that means we have easy access to a rank 8 engine. As for the rest of the extra deck, we're playing one IP Masquerena, Cross Sheep, Nightmare Unicorn, Avramax. Avramax is probably very cuttable. This could be Underworld Goddess as well. I think that would be a little bit better, because most of the time you're using Cross Sheep to go into Apollosa. So normally the end board is Apollosa, Baron, and a full on-field with maybe a Block Dragon as well, depending on what else you have. You could even have a Megalith Unformed set as well, just kind of depending on your hand and what you have available to you, which is honestly pretty good. It's not crazy, but it's pretty good. And not a lot of decks are prepared for Beth or pop your entire field. So there's that. Let's hop into the duels and show you how this deck performs. Alright, here we are going first, and hey, there's Gale Dogra. So I'm going to show you the power of Gale Dogra here, starting off with the normal summon of Gale Dogra. They're going to immediately fire the Maxi because, hey, it's a 2! Spright! It's fine, we have the Ash Blossom, so we're not really concerned. We're going to negate the summon there and go for the Gale. They're going to negate the Herald of Arclight. Oh no! Anyway, we're going to do that again. We're going to search out the Ophiel. Ophiel is then going to be utilized here with the... we're going to activate the portal that we have in hand. Then we're going to go for the Bethor here, tributing the Ben 10, summoning out the Ophiel. Ophiel is then going to search, Ben 10 is going to search, and we're going to add back that Ben 10 because, hey, we can cycle it multiple times. The Ben 10 is going to search the Chaos Valkyria here as well. We're going to grab up the Haggith, then use the Ophiel to summon out that Haggith. The Haggith effect will activate, and we're going to grab up that Unformed. We can then go and activate the Valkyria effect here, special summoning itself out, and then linking off the 2 other non-rituals to go for Cross Sheep. Here we can now go for the Unformed. Unformed effect is going to tribute off the Haggith for Full. Full is then going to activate its effect. Cross Sheep is going to activate its effect, and I'm going to chain the Full. Cross Sheep basically doesn't do anything here. At this point, we're just drawing 2 and discarding 2, but I do want to go and activate the Full effect, tributing the Ben 10 to summon out a 4 from the deck. So we're going to special summon out the Haggith here, and we're also going to draw 2, discard both of them, and then add back that Bethor. So I could have done this a little bit better. Realistically, I should have activated the Full as Chainlink 2 to add back the Bethor. That way, if I drew something, I could have used it. Like, for example, that Ash would have been nice to have, but alas, it's fine. We're going to go for the Haggith here, search out the Unformed, and then off of the Ben 10, since we've already used our normal summon, we're going to grab up that Lancia that we have as our search target. We're going to activate the Unformed here to go for Ophiel. Ophiel effect will then activate again in order to get that additional search. Now, we haven't used the effect of Haggith to ritual summon, so we're going to use up that Haggith to summon out another Haggith to grab up the 3rd Unformed. Yes, Unformed also has no once per turn. It's crazy. So we're going to go for the Gallant Granite here. We're going to grab up Block Dragon, and then we're going to special summon out the Block Dragon. We're going to use all 3 of the rituals to go for Apollousa. Activate the Block Dragon. Obviously here we grab up the Adamantipator Researcher, Gigantes, and full. We're going to then special summon back the Block Dragon, activate the Researcher, special summon it, go into Baron. We're then going to have our opponent concede. At that point, I think they realized they played through 2 hand traps, and we're still able to do all of this. Uh-oh. So yeah, Megalith. Pretty cool. Look, sometimes you don't have the best of hands. And sometimes you have hands like this. With Gale, Dogra, and Ash Blossom once again, immediately the same thing happens. But our hand is slightly different. This is basically going to be the same thing. However, they give us a target to destroy with our Baron this time. So that's very interesting. They're going to go for the Mega Mutt. I'm like, that's totally fine. We're going to go and activate again. We're going to grab up that Phaleg. We grabbed up the Ben 10 as well. So we're going to attribute that Ben 10 to go for the full. So instead of going for the Ophiel, we now have the full. Yada, yada. So we have, realistically here, I think I make a little bit of a mistake. This should be Aeritron in, like, most instances. The reason for Aeritron is because if we cycle it back and bring it back to our hand, we have the ability to then use an Aeritron for like future summons if we need to, like if we need to play slower or something like that. We can then go for the Aeritron on the opponent's turn, and it's very strong. Anyway, that's fine. We're going to grab the Ben 10 off of the Ben 10, then we're going to use the Ben 10 to summon out the Ophiel. Ophiel can then trigger its effect and search, as well as the Ben 10 will then trigger to search out that Lancia. Since we've already used our normal, we have the Chaos Valkyria already in our hand, we can then go for that Lancia there. We're going to go for the Haggith as well off of that Ophiel. Haggith will then search the portal since we already have Unformed, and then we can go for the Unformed to grab up another Ophiel. Ophiel effect will activate, and we're going to grab up another Haggith. We're also going to cycle back that Ophiel as well, which means that we get another activation of Ophiel, which is very nice. We're going to link off into Cross Sheep here, and then we can activate that Haggith in order to special summon out our Ophiel from hand. I also search out the Aeritron there off of that previous Ophiel. We're then going to activate the Cross Sheep. We draw 2 in Ash Blossom, as well as I believe we had the Dogra. Anyway, not really that big of a deal. We're going to grab the Bethor here. We're going to activate the effect of our Chaos Valkyria to get that guy onto the field to go for the Gallant Granite. We're going to activate the Gallant Granite here, detaching a rock so that we can go for earn Earth for the Block Dragon. Block Dragon into Apollousa. You've seen this part before as well. We can go for the Adamantipator Researcher special summon itself, banish 3, Block Dragon into the Baron. Pretty nice. We also have a Bethor in order to tribute for the second full. And I know what you're saying, why are we going for the second full here? Well, it's mostly to get more names into the graveyard with that Gigantes, so that we can then go for Block Dragon. Just because Block Dragon is then able to utilize itself as additional protection. So we have the Lancia, we have the Ash Blossom, we have Baron Apollousa, as well as Megalith for, or Megalith full for the Bethor. They're going to grab the Allboss as well during the end phase with their whatchamacallit. I'm going to fire off this Lancia, and they're going to fire Super Polymerization. So, there goes my hand. They're going to pitch the Tri-Brigade Mercurier here, and then go for the Mundragon. They're then going to go for Regain to activate the Branded Fusion, and I'm like, no, that's not allowed. So we negate there. We're then going to go for the full, tributing, they were going to go to the end phase. I was going to, so these only activate in the main phase. So yeah, we tribute off the Block Dragon to go for the Bethor. They're going to trigger their effects to special summon out their monster. That doesn't really matter. We're going to trigger the Bethor, the Portal, as well as the Block Dragon. So we're going to add back the Ophiel, search out the 2 Haggiths, and then pop their back row as well. So I'm feeling pretty good. We have quite a bit in our hand, and we draw Mexi, which is very funny. I'm going to start off with the full, because we kind of need to. Full is going to summon out the full from deck, and then we're going to activate the full, as well as the portal, in order to add back that Ben 10, and we're also going to add back the Aeritron. We're then going to Xyz into Titaniclad, or not Titaniclad, wrong one, Hope Harbinger Titanic Galaxy. Then we can go and special summon out the Ophiel off of that Aeritron, trigger the Ben 10 as well to grab up the Phaleg and the Manju effect, add the Aeritron, then go for the Ophiel here, tributing itself and Haggith to summon out Phaleg. And now we're really big, and we just switch everything to attack position and go for well over lethal. As you can see there, we're lots of damage. Phaleg is really cool. Phaleg does lots of damage. Alright, so here we are going first, but in all reality, we drew Dogra again, so it's the same combo, right? So we're going to activate that Gale Dogra, and then my opponent drops a Maxi, and I go, fantastic, I don't have the answer. This time, So what do we do under Maxi? How can we play the game? Well, we're going to start off here with the Gale Dogra. Luckily, we did draw this. This is genuinely why this deck is, or this card in particular, is so good for this deck. Yeah, being able to grab 2 of our monsters is very nice. We grab the Aerodron and the full. So now we have access to, on the opponent's turn, not only do we have the Maxi, but we also have the Aerodron to go for full to pop some cards with the Bethor, or we can even just boost our monster if we wanted to with a Phaleg and just have a really big guy on our field. So there's that. But this game is kind of sitting in hand, not really doing anything, and it's not the greatest. My opponent's going to reveal the Branded in High Spirits to send the Rindbrum, yeah, that's it, and grab the Albion. Albion will then send the Retribution. They're going to normal summon the Cartesia. I'm going to activate the Maxi to their Fusion Summon. They're going to Fusion Summon into the Albion. Guess what's the first card off of the top of the deck? That's right, it's Lancia. Let's go. This is why we play Lancia. Anyway, we draw into another Gamma, because of course we do. They're going to try to proceed to the end phase, and I'm going to go for the full here. We're going to activate the effect of the full, grabbing back that Aerotron so that we could potentially do it again, and then go for the full effect. Tributing itself this time. Normally I try to keep the full on the field, but it's got 2000 defense, and I do want to keep the Albion on their field. I don't want to give them like a Branded in red, because that would just be not good. So yeah, we pop the Cartesia here, and then just pass. So they're going to pass the turn, they're going to add back that Cartesia, and at this point the game is basically over. Unless they have like a Maxi in hand, which hopefully they don't. But we draw into Ben 10, which is fantastic. They're going to go for the Rindbrum here to summon out the Albaz, and I'm like, that's a bit odd. This is in response to my Researcher coming down, and so I'm like, okay, they probably have like the Brigand or Sprint or something like that that, you know, requires the monster that is special summon that turn, and then they didn't use Albaz, and I went, huh? So I have no idea why they did that. Anyway, out comes Baron. Baron effect is going to pop the Albion, and at this point, again, the game is basically over. So we're going to go for the Hagath here. We're going to activate the effect of the Hagath, activate the effect of the Ben 10, search out the Manju, search out the Unformed. We're going to normal summon the Manju, activate the effect of that in order to grab up the Phaleg. Then we're going to exceed into Gale and Grend, and my opponent has seen enough at this point, and they decided to concede, realizing Block Dragon is on the way. So yeah, not exactly the greatest of games, but hey, we still played under Maxi, and then Maxied them ourselves. Woo, cockroach. Alright, we're back with the deck, and honestly, this deck is still incredibly fun. I still thoroughly enjoy Megalith, or more specifically Gale Dogra, and Megalith just happens to be very good with him. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. This deck is just incredibly enjoyable. Notably, we're not playing things like Called By or Cross Out or stuff like that, and even with that being said, you could also just cut Maxi. Like, it's nice because you can draw into like Aerotron and pop cards and stuff like that, but honestly this is very much so a like you go first combo deck kind of thing. If you don't go first, it does become more of an issue, and going second is also a bit of an issue, but all things considered, it's still very good. It's still very fun. Its end boards are very strong, but they are kind of weak to Super Poly. However, not as many people are playing Super Poly at the moment. I don't know why. Like, Super Poly is crazy right now, but alas. I guess it's like because Branded is the only deck that really uses it that well. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I really like this deck. It's very fun. It's very enjoyable to play. And there you go. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, like, it's very much appreciated. And if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.